A ranking of video game movies, episode 8. This week, Double Dragon, a movie from, was it 1994? That effect, based on the video game of the same name. So, Double Dragon takes place in New Angeles, which is basically Los Angeles, but the southern half of which was destroyed in some giant earthquake. Seems it's a very unfortunate, crappy setting where gangs roam the city, uh, and we have a rich villain named Koga Shuko who is trying to take complete control over the city. The movie begins in China. Koga's henchmen find one half of the Double Dragon, a magical amulet that grants people these great powers to people who wield it. Uh, so, and it's divided into two halves: the soul half and the body half, each of which kind of have their own set of powers. So, So after that, the movie starts off with this martial arts tournament which they lose due to Billy being a moron, as I recall. And then, and as they're returning home, because they're after the curfew where the gangs are allowed to roam free, they end up getting caught by this gang leader, and then he ends up seeing Satori's half of the Double Dragon that Koga is currently looking for. This leads to him reporting that to Koga, who and then because he didn't grab it, ends up turning the gang leader into this like mutant monstrosity. This then leads to a fight in Billy, Jimmy, and Satori's home that leads to Satori's death. After that, Koga, while trying to find Billy and Jimmy, Koga ends up taking over the gangs, enlists them to hunt for them. A Power Core, another gang, helps Billy and Jimmy infiltrate Koga's building to get the other half of the medallion. Jimmy wearing it, now mind you, after Satori died. But Jimmy ends up getting captured in the attempt. This ends up leading to a fight at Power Core hideout after the building, where Koga has possessed Jimmy, using that to trying to use that and to play some warfare with Billy's mind. Due to after playing this like trick where he ends up he stops possessing Jimmy, where Billy lets down his guard. He takes the Double Dragon amulet. So now Koga has both halves, uses them to turn into two Shadow Warriors, I guess. After a brief fight, actually, no, hold on. Because the gang leader, due to him being turned, betrays Koga, reveals that his light is his weakness for whatever reason. This results in them turning on this generator that relights up the gang's hideout. Then, which weakens Koga enough for the brothers to get the Double Dragon. They beat Koga in the fight. Jimmy possesses Koga afterwards using the power of the Shadow Amulet to get a bunch of basically just some wacky hijinks. Ends up donating a bunch of money to the police. Koga's arrested. Roll credits.
Yeah.
This movie is all sorts of
uninteresting.
Cheesy.
Yeah. This movie lost me within like 15 minutes, and I was just there like being dragged along for the rest of it. I feel like
I hated their handshake. I think that was like every time it happened, I was like, oh
yeah.
Where they were like do one hand a fist and one hand a high five, and then they'd like
slap together. That was, I didn't hate it. It was just a little awkward to me, but
like along the lines of Kudra's cheesiness suggestion, like everything is so cheesy in this movie. Mm-hmm. Say a good thing about Double Dragon. The character that they like overload with steroids or whatever, he looks exactly like the first boss in Double Dragon. Like he looks just like that boss I had to fight on the Game Boy. Which
I'm
the game
impressed you remember that.
I used to have the Game Boy version that I played, and he's the first boss. I saw him. I'm like, oh shit, it's the Double Dragon boss. I believe the Game Boy version is just a straight remake of the NES version, which I believe is where that boss comes from.
Right. So he's just like a dude on steroids, essentially, right?
He looks more like a monster in the game, but that like shape definitely emulates that boss, and it does a pretty good job. The only other good thing I think I have to say is the Koga, the villain guy. His like styling, I feel like he's always got the sunglasses. He's always like smoking a cigarette during like just all the time. He's like an anime character, and I feel like his styling actually is okay. That's it though. All the other sucks. Like the gangs or whatever they are, their styling is atrocious. The face paint, oh my gosh, it's the face paint's so bad. Yeah, all of them suck. But I did actually like watching it. I'm like, the villain guy's actually okay. He like follows his style. He's always wearing these sunglasses. He's totally a fucking anime villain, and I appreciated that much.
Yeah.
I have to disagree because I kept seeing him as the dude, Ben Stiller's character from Dodgeball. Like he was giving me those vibes. I was like,
you didn't like Ben Stiller's character from Dodgeball?
No, I thought it was really good, but it was like obviously over the top and like
right. Oh yeah, it's over the top. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean,
like, I couldn't take him seriously.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I kind of liked him just smoking cigarettes all the time, and times where he shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. Even like, what are you doing, guy? But you can't stop him. That's him. That's his character.
Well, it gave me false confidence vibes, which I think Ben Stiller does really well, where he like is all about his manhood.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But anyway.
I think those were like most of the good things I have to say about this. I hated like all the characters, especially the two brothers, the two main characters, the worst.
I don't know. I feel like Jimmy's most like horrible thing is just that he's very unmemorable. Billy was.
Which one? Sorry, I get Jimmy's the blue one.
No, Jimmy's the red one. Billy's the blue one.
Okay, I hate Billy more
the alliteration. Billy blue.
Oh, I hate Billy more than Jimmy.
I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they try to do like a brotherly like conflict thing, right?
It's like a bad Disney Channel movie. Like, I'm not saying Disney. It's like worse than the Disney Channel movies.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of get what you're saying.
It kind of has like the same vibes, I feel like.
Like very
I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
Surface level stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was just because I had watched Time to Kill before I watched this movie. So anything by comparison looked better. I don't know. I did have some fun with this movie. The fight scenes were really cheesy, but I did feel like they were fun to watch.
Yeah.
The fight at the theater. Let me see. There was that massive gang fight after the fight at the theater, which led to a chase scene, which I'm sure Colton loved. They were jet skiing down the river and such.
Compared to the rest of the movie, I don't know that it was where it might have been. Yeah, okay. They go underwater for like 5 seconds. And of course, nobody stays for 10 seconds to confirm they didn't come up.
Right.
Like, what?
Like, I thought it was weird they were driving the jet skis and they have missile launchers on the jet skis and then they did never use them. And you get to look at the targeting system and it's like...
Yeah, there's tons of just bad lines in this movie. Let me just read some of them to you. I kept the other one where no one will find it. Jimmy's underwear. When they knock the one guy into a net, they say nothing but net. I'm like, okay, yeah. Some girl says is it just me or is it hot in here when the place gets light on fire? So I mean, yeah, I guess it is hot in there, but when they go somewhere, it's Jimmy and Billy, and they say we're now officially pedestrians.
Oh, yep.
I just you're always planning, Jimmy, and I'm sick of it.
Oh yeah.
What is the power of the double dragon? Like you just turn into a shadow? Is that the power?
Well,
I don't.
so that's the soul half of the medallion.
Okay.
You can turn into like this shadow.
Okay.
You can possess people, and then apparently you can also, but because there's this one scene where like when Shuko unites the gangs, he literally kills a guy by turning into a shadow
Right.
and choking
Yeah, I remember that.
choking the other dude's shadow to death.
Right.
But then he never uses that power again, despite what I can only assume are numerous opportunities to.
Right.
And then there's the body half, which effectively just makes you invulnerable. It seems like you just can't be harmed.
Anyways, I hated
Can't take
this
fall
movie.
damage.
Huh? No fall damage, yeah.
No fall damage.
Imagine the godsend that would be in the Dark Souls.
Sorry, Colton, I cut you off.
No, oh no, I was just saying I hated this movie.
I thought it was. I had a little bit of fun with it. I think two other memorable things for me. My last two are the VR when the kid's playing the VR.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, it's how it is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the trash car where you just feed trash into the
the
car to make you go faster. I thought that was funny. They were really trying to sell the apocalyptic like shit, but then I was like, yeah, right. Like you're allowed to put a rocket on the top of your car that uses trash to go. I don't know.
Even bad enough, like during that chasing too, like they literally like grabbed other trash off the side of the road driving by it just to stuff more of it in the fling chute.
But yeah, I thought that was funny. But yeah, it wasn't the best movie. It wasn't as hard to watch as Time to Kill, for sure. But
no, like I mean, this movie's like really dumb, cheesy, campy, but I can at least say it was fun to some extent.
Yeah, I don't know. I really did not have fun with it. I didn't like it. I hated it.
Okay. Will you rate it for us?
Yeah, I'm torn between like, is this better or worse than Mortal Kombat Annihilation? And I mean, I definitely like it more than Final Fantasy Spirits Within. The Tomb Raiders are above this one. So it's like below those. To me, it's like, is this an E or an F? And that's kind of where I'm stuck. I really like some of the things I liked, like some of the styling, but then I hated the rest of it. And it just made me tired watching it. Like I didn't want to be there. And at least with Mortal Kombat, like I think maybe I just like the idea of Mortal Kombat more than this. So I think for me, this goes below Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I think I got to give this an F. It doesn't make the E cut. I give it an F.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's an E for me. I think it's worse than Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or not worse, better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation for me at least.
Gotcha.
Because I did have a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an E for me. What about you, Kudrow?
I don't know. I'm trying to think because let's see here. Funny enough, this conversations to some extent like actually is making me remember it more fondly, maybe just because There are just so many dumb moments that are actually kind of entertaining. I could go D or an E. I'm just a little torn on it. I don't. Let me see here, because I'm thinking of like other like this. I feel like this movie was more entertaining than Tomb Raider: Cradle of Life.
Bold statements.
Not really a high bar to clear, to be fair, but yeah, I'm gonna say E. There's I don't, yeah, it doesn't deserve an F. I don't think it's like that bad, but I mean, like for one, it's cheesy, it's campy, it has a few fun moments here and there. I'll give it an E.
All right. So with that, you guys are both in the E tier. I'm in the F tier. So it seems like this will end up somewhere in E. So put it right there. So I think Tomb Raider was better than this movie. Final Fantasy is up there. We just have to live with that fact at this point. So I won't comment on that. I would put this behind Tomb Raider. Kudra, you said you would put this above Tomb Raider. You're unsure.
God, I gotta think. Tomb Raider: Cradle of Life, like, I guess there were a few funny. I don't know. I could go either way.
Quinn,
I really could.
where do you feel like this one
I have
belongs?
it below. I have it below Tomb Raider: Cradle of
So,
Life.
would you agree E tier behind Tomb Raider: Cradle of Life?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
All
I
right.
think that's fine.
Double Dragon is in the E tier of ranking of video game movies behind Tomb Raider: Cradle of Life.